Hey everybody, this week on 1 Hour Build by Request, we're making shelves.
Hey everybody, it's Scott and Walker at Full Spectrum Laser, and welcome to 1 Hour Build, and it's Friday.
That's Friday. Everybody's happy for Friday, and we're happy to show you guys
what we're making.
Yes.
So, like Scott said, by request, we are making shelves.
Yeah, we were doing our Laser Talk show, and one of our regular watchers, Thomas Blackburn, saw the shelf behind us, behind you and Nick, and said, "You guys have a file for that?" And we were like, "No, but
no, we don't.
We will by Friday."
Because we made all those shelves for the lobby, and then we got a different computer, and it just got lost in time. So what I did was just remake this file.
I'm not surprised it stuck out to them. They're really nice. The notching and
this is like laser cutting shelf. Like if you know anything about laser cutting and you saw this shelf, you'd be like, that was made with a laser cutter.
Yep.
And that's what's very cool about it, and that's why I like it, even though it's very plain. But it also has places to put custom pieces.
Right, so it doesn't have to be plain. It can be just a gorgeous display.
Yeah, it could. And what are you displaying today?
So I brought in Thundercat figures.
Your favorite, right?
Well, you know, I was a little old when they came around, so these were my kids. But yeah, I know a lot of people who do collectible toy stuff.
And they put them on shelves, right?
They would love to put them on shelves. They get the most elaborate cases and shelving and things that you can imagine of, because they don't play with them. They're not, but you you put them on and you let people see them.
But
the people that never come to your house because you're a little too introverted.
Yeah, and you have Thundercats on your adult shelf.
So if you had a shelf like this and you wanted to display your Thundercats, what would you do?
So we're gonna make it custom and put this back panel right on the back.
Look at that.
So your shelf can be, you know, themed for whatever you have on it. And I'm actually going to show you how to customize this piece and how I started making this actual shelf. We're going to do a maker case. We're going to run through maker case, and then I'm going to customize this back piece, totally something different, and then we're going to cut it.
Let's get started.
Alrighty, so I'm going to just jump into the software, and I'm going to show you maker case. So we'll go to the internet. It's just makercase.com. And if you're just getting started, it's really cool because you can punch in your numbers specifically and it will generate the PDF file for you.
Okay, so how do you get those numbers? You want to make notches. How are you going to go about knowing what those numbers are?
So you're going to want to know the thickness of your material. This is 1/4 inch wood. This is what they call 1/4 inch wood. Traditionally, it's 0.2 inches of wood. So very small.
You use your favorite tool, right? What's your favorite tool?
Calipers.
Calipers.
Always use your caliper. I use millimeters to get more exact, but these I just set to 0.2 inches, and I always do that when working with the 1/4 inch. Anything below that I typically use millimeters, but we're American, so we'll go stick with inches. So in the website, it's just a simple website. You just punch in your numbers. So if you want a box width, let's say of 8, a height of 1, or we'll do 1. And then we'll do depth 8 as well. So this actual one that we're building is 8 by 8.
All right.
So that will hold a good size book. And then we have 2 more sizes. So we have the small, medium, and large. They'll all fit on your Muse, or of course a Pro.
Of course your Pro.
And we're going to be cutting on the Pro soon.
That'll be exciting today.
Yeah. So looking at this, you can see your file generated. That's what it's going to be like. And they're all notched. You have to select the finger notching, or else this is what it defaults to.
Okay, so you have different notching options for
the
program.
They also have T-slots. I don't really use T-slots. That's what they look like.
We do have some examples of that stuff that we've done, with a little dice box and stuff like that.
Yeah, I typically just use finger, and it's super straightforward. You're just going to scroll down here and generate your laser case plans. So just gives you some margins on curves. I always do default, and I'll download the plan. So it's just going to show up here.
So it's going to give you a file, and then you're going to import that file.
Yeah. So we will let's show this in folder. That's what a file looks like. I'll wait for this to pop up. So it is now in my folder. I'm just going to drag and drop that into Inkscape, which is my preferred design software. Now, I prefer that because it's free, easy to use with our lasers, but you can use anything really with our Pro machines, and that's what we're using today. We're just going to import that in once we're done.
Okay.
So now that I have the file, you'll see that it has the side panels, front and back, and top and bottom. I'm going to ungroup these with a Control Shift G. That's going to ungroup everything, and you'll see that that is ungrouped. These are all now selectable separately.
Okay.
And with the shelf, this isn't a box, but it is almost a box.
Right.
So this is just this maker case taken and edited. So we're going to need those sides, but we also don't need the bottom panel because that doesn't have a bottom.
Okay.
And then we're just going to take one of the sides, and what we would do, I'm not going to show you the whole process, it would take a while, but it's just simply add to this function. So I did something like this.
That's to brace it, that's your brackets to hold
Yeah,
it.
that's our side panel, and I would just merge these all together and just go like this, and then I would merge these or union them. So go up to path, union, and that's what you have your side panel.
Yep.
So that's what you're starting with the shelf. Now you don't have to know, this is for you to know and empower you, but we already have the file ready for you.
You can go to our website and get the file.
Just download it.
And then you can modify it from there.
Yeah, you can modify it from there.
Or you can just go right from there.
Or this thing's pretty cool by itself.
It is.
And then we have the back panel piece. So the back panel is what we're going to cut, and I thought this would be cool to maybe hold, like if you had a handful of them and you're all about baseball caps or something, to put maybe the cityscape behind there with your hat. So
Nice. So we're starting with New York of all places, huh?
yeah, of course. I simply dragged this in from the internet, so I just searched New York cityscape, and this is what came up.
Got a skyline. That's cool.
And I just saved that and auto traced it, and that makes it a vector. And then we just merged it together. So what I'm going to do is just merge these together with the file that you get for free.
And they'll get the New York skyline too with it.
No, you can make that yourself.
Yeah, you can grab that yourself.
It's just this bottom panel from here down.
I see. You
because
get the basics.
Because this bottom panel isn't notched simply like this bottom panel. This one has holes, so it's a little different. And if you don't know how to do that, you know, it could take some time.
You have to be more precise.
Yeah, so we have that back panel, and I'll show you how to do this without having to use the maker case. If you wanted to, let's say you don't like the notches, or you can modify this all you want on the maker case, but let's say you are doing an odd shape and you want to make your own.
Or you just want the skills to do it. In case.
Or yeah, just the skills. Let's say you don't want to use maker case. I simply start out with my size box, and then this is my notch. And it's very straightforward. What I do, if you have a better way of doing it, feel free, but I just do this and I copy and paste this just so everything's even. Now, those blacks will represent my actual notches, and I always keep those square, so it's like 0.2 by 0.2.
Okay.
And then you can always merge these. And I'll just copy and paste this until it's done. And those will be your notches.
Now, if you were doing thicker wood, would they would also change at that point?
Yeah, you'll do it accordingly to how high it is. You can still have 0.2 inch notches, but let's say that the material is 0.5 inches. That's what your notches will look like.
All right.
That's why I like to kind of keep them square, because you can see how those notches would be a little bit more breakable rather than if they were nice and thick notches like that.
I see.
So you can always merge those and make your own. But we did do the back panel. We did it custom. And I'm just going to use the print driver for RE1 because we're using the old Pro. Now, there was a little bit of a miss.
Right. So we have RE3 now, version 3 of the Retina Engrave software.
Yeah.
That's available for Muse, and we'll be making announcements about that being available for Pro in the near future.
Yes.
But our first software was called RE3D.
Yeah,
before
Retina
we were
Engrave 3D. And in-house we call it RE1.
RE1.
So when we refer to that, we're talking about our older software for the pros, and that will be getting an upgrade soon.
Which is still pretty good software.
It does all the same
software.
stuff. I still use it. Yeah. I love RE1 and or Retina Engrave 3D.
Retina 3D.
And that's what we're using today.
Yeah,
so
it's really easy functional software.
It's actually pretty quick because it isn't browser based. It's you have the software on your computer.
Right.
So
you never have to have an internet connection to make your projects.
No, well you don't with the
That's true for ours too. Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the big advantages of
but it does, RE3 does work with Macs or Linux and that sort of thing. So if you're running a Mac and you're looking to get a Pro right now, you will have to run an emulator that runs Windows on your Mac.
Okay.
That is why RE3 is so awesome. So we're just going to hit File, Print, and that's using our print driver.
And there it is. Wow, like magic. That was quick. There it goes.
Well, yeah, there it is.
Okay.
That was previous load. We had to get that time estimate. So this will take 4 minutes and 12 seconds.
Not to load, but to actually
cut.
To cut.
Yeah, yeah. So I have my vector.
And we're using the Pro. What's it?
24 by 60.
Okay.
So I am going to set my powers, which I did earlier, which is 30 speed, 100 power, 90 current.
And why did you choose those settings?
Because that's the settings that cut the wood, Scott.
That's what you know goes with the wood?
Yeah. I tested it earlier, and that's what it cuts.
I know,
great.
It's all second fiddle to you because you've done it so many times.
Yeah. I just do it. That's what's so bad for the beginners is I'm so not used to like where I used to be.
Right.
Like it's hard for me to relate, but I try to.
That's why we offer material test files that you can do,
yeah.
and a little log to keep that stuff down.
Yeah, because I actually the other day I remembered using the software for the first time and how frustrating it was for me because nobody really taught me. I just kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
And it can be difficult, and I'm glad that's why we have these videos to show.
We have these videos, and if you go to our YouTube page, you can see an FSL laser or Laser 101.
Yeah.
You can also find many examples of that too, videos explaining RE1 and things
yeah,
like that.
I mean, check out any of our videos and you will see, you know, just lots of stuff that you can learn from. Sometimes I don't even think we're teaching somebody by saying something. I think it's kind of a no-brainer, but you never know their perspective.
Like you said, you go back and remember when you just started.
Yeah,
that stuff becomes very useful. So we put out a lot of that stuff for people.
So I'm gonna load the wood into the machine, and we'll get cutting. I'm just going to make sure it's focused with one of our projects. If you haven't done the...
As if you've somehow misplaced your focus billet for your Pro.
Yeah, and you want a little penguin instead.
Go to our projects and you can download pre-measured billets.
Yeah, yeah. And we got a cowboy and a giraffe. Alrighty, so got it in there.
And a penguin, right?
Yeah, yeah, penguin.
Because penguins and laser, I get it.
And I'm just going to run the perimeter real quick.
Now, if we were using the Muse, you could do an absolute
yeah, we could do absolute.
Using the camera.
This is all going to be relative. The old machines use just relative. And that's starting wherever the laser head is in the upper left-hand corner. That's what's going to run the perimeter.
So as long as your material fits within it running the perimeter, you're good to go.
Yeah, you are good. We haven't cut this file, so we'll see how it turns out.
Okay.
And then we'll assemble the shelf. So I think we're good. I'm just gonna turn on the, what is that, air compressor, because it's kind of loud, and the exhaust fan.
In this case, we're using the fume extractor.
Yeah, fume extractor. Now.
And here we go.
We have the magnet on there. Oh, we'll stop that real quick. I just had to restart it because the magnet sensor was pushed away. So.
We only deactivate that so we can get the camera in there.
Yeah, we leave the lid open so we can cut with the camera showing everything.
But it's really a safety feature that we have that you shouldn't dismantle.
Yeah. It's a good safety feature. It's also great for when people open the lid and ruin your project. I've had Lincoln come in, I'm running a huge raster, and I see him open the lid and look at it.
What's going on?
Like,
it's got a glass on there so you can look in there.
Yeah, I know. He had to open it and, ruin the whole engraving I had going on. It's whatever.
So we went to the internet and to find some things that other people are doing with shelves.
Yeah.
And what did you find? Some pretty
Got
interesting
a lot
stuff
of great shelves on Pinterest. Unfortunately, Pinterest doesn't. The one thing I do not like about Pinterest is that it doesn't source a lot of things. It just kind of shows some cool stuff, and I always want to figure out where it came from. And there's no sourcing.
We want to give credit to people and shout out people.
Yeah, I want to give credit. And if you see it and you don't get credit, let us know, and we will give you credit.
Give you credit. But or send stuff directly to us.
Yeah.
Go to our Facebook, pin us.
Send us anything you have and want to show off, because we'll show it off.
Laser cut.
Yeah, laser cut.
Not anything.
Yeah. Well, we got some people who collect Thundercats toys, so there's some weirdos out there.
So weirdos. You mean interesting?
You mean cool dudes?
Eclectic people.
Yeah. So, there we go.
Okay, so
now I saw this a long time ago, probably when I first started working here, and that's one of the projects I always wanted to make. Looks like sort of a sphere poking out, and that's super easy to make.
Well, you could fill a lot of Star Wars figures on that one.
Yeah, you could, Scott.
or fine shot glasses or something. That could be
cool stuff.
I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Shot glasses.
Shirley Temple shot glasses.
All right, this is a standing shelf.
So this one's really cool because it's all a single piece that they did a living hinge and cut out of.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's really, really
Is that
cool.
something you think you could recreate?
Easy. It's laser cut. Come on. Yeah, I like that one, though.
Cool.
And then this one, I've seen a lot. And actually, we'll probably put it, I think we do know where that one's from, so we'll have to add that to it. But I really like these guys.
So it's almost a caddy for your pet stuff.
Yeah. So there's what they do is take the 3D file, like for a 3D printer, and then they slice it up using Autodesk 123D. And it just creates that file, you can play with it, but those are really cool.
Those are, and highly customizable.
Yes.
So we'd love to see people make something like that and send us some pictures of what you're doing.
Yeah, that could be like Jim Robinson's Kendall. He's got a pug.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then the final one, I really like this one. And look, that's just as nerdy as you want it.
Well, Lego's for everybody.
Yeah.
There's nothing nerdy about Lego.
No, not at all. Not at all. I like building things.
We're doing a Toys Week in the coming future, right? In a few weeks or something like that.
We are doing toys.
We're going to do toys, so we're going to make shows all about toys. So there you got shelves to display the toys that we're going to be making.
Yeah, for sure. So, is it good? So we're just about done. We'll take that guy out once it's done and then assemble it.
So if you were doing these shelves in a different material, say we were going to make acrylic, how would that kind of change your approach to the whole project?
So I would kind of think that it is clear. It's clear. So
you're going to see the glue.
You're going to see the glue, yeah.
How do you get around that?
So you have to get good glue, good specific glue. Let me see if that's cutting good. Yeah, that's cutting good. So with acrylic, you have to get either acrylic binding glue, which is a special glue that you can order online.
Made just for acrylic?
Just for acrylic.
And it's invisible when it hits acrylic?
It's invisible, and it just beautifully molds them together. What it actually does is kind of melts it chemically and then bonds them together. So if you've seen fish tanks at the seams, the very clean seam doesn't look like some sort of super glue job. It's actually that special glue.
Okay. It sounds expensive.
It's not too bad.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. So we'll take this guy out.
Project's done. And everyone's in a New York kind of mood right now.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look what you get, the silhouette. I always like that. I always like what you leave behind as much as what we pick up.
Yeah. Look at that.
Look at that.
That's
very nicely
cool.
detailed. So you're pulling this out. What could you do now as far as making it a little bit better coming right out of the thing if you wanted? If you thought maybe you got too much char on there or something like this one came out really nice.
This one, yeah, so like we always say, that edge, you want an amber color. And that is playing with your current.
Okay.
Dialing in your current's gonna give you a better edge that doesn't rub soot off onto your fingers, and that's really ideal. But if we wanted to, we could stain this, paint it, clear coat it. We could add, engravings to this. I thought it'd be cool to actually do this multi-layered and cut out some windows and then put like acrylic on there and then light up the shelf. You could do something like that.
Fantastic. People out there giving you great ideas. If you want to join get in the weekly contest, that sounds like a great
winner. That is a winner.
Could be.
Anything that I say that is an idea of mine and they do it, they've got to win.
We like that.
Yeah. So,
let's see, we got check our Facebook here.
We're gonna check our comments real quick. What was it, Tuesday on In the Cut, one of the fellas sent me a kissy emoji. I appreciate that.
All right, we've got Christian saying, is there financing or payment facilities? Well, we do have financing.
We do have financing. Please contact sales and they'll talk to you all about our multiple financing options.
Very good.
Christian. Jeff Hayes, what's up, man?
Hey, Jeff. And don't forget Lynn, I'm sure she's there too.
Yeah, we're making the Moonwalker for the Toys episode. We're going to do that. It's going to be a moon.
The Walker Moonwalker.
It's going to be a moon with my face on it. The Moonwalker toy.
Thunder mounts are laser cut, says Gus Thunder.
Gus Thunder.
That's a great name.
What's up, Gus Thunder?
And we got Thomas Blackburn, who inspired the entire
Thank you, sir.
of this.
Here's your shelf. It'll be available soon.
We're going to show you how to put it together now, too.
Yeah, we're going to put it together. So ideally, you should put this together with some clamps and some wood glue. That's going to be your most solid. So wood glue is what you're going to want to use. There we go. Beautiful. But today we're going to use super glue, which is fine. It's totally okay. It's faster if you're impatient and you like instant gratification, use super glue. And that's why I love lasers too, because it's instant gratification. It's the only thing like in life that is instant gratification. You design it, you press the button, and it's done.
It's done.
It's amazing. I love it. So, we're going to start with the large panel.
Okay, that's the platform where everything's going to sit on.
Yeah, and the front actually has two larger notches. So
why did you do that?
So you'll see in just a second why that is.
So
I'm going to take this.
I can't wait.
Well, we'll take the New York back panel. There we go. That's why we did that. And is this the right one? There we go. Getting confused here. Who designed this thing?
You've only made 100 of these.
Yeah. So we'll place that in there, and that in there. And this is your bottom bracket. That's going to hold everything nice and solid. And you will put it on the back. So, like so. Place this guy.
All right, so that's where your measurements are really important for this one.
Yeah. And then you'll see that's why those two notches are bigger.
I got you now. Yep.
Put this guy back in.
Steve Hasselbrook says hi.
Hello.
Yes, one of our regulars. They're coming over from your and Nick's Laser Talk, and now we're getting some spillover.
Oh,
that's great.
Nice, nice.
People, because of you.
No, it's definitely you, my friend. Definitely you. So then we're going to add these side panels. And I'll probably do these this way so you guys can see. And while you're doing this, you can always add glue to the seams. I'll try to do this by not looking at all, which is going to be really hard. I'll use the camera itself. I think there's some glue there.
You've got muscle memory for these shelves. You've done so many.
Yes, that's very true. I just want to give a shout out to Charles, our producer. Very cool dude. He is the best. You're welcome.
The unsung hero.
Yes, he's the true.
Yeah.
So, got those guys kind of glued in place. And actually could, just while I'm thinking about it, you could do something cool like that on the front panel as well, because this back panel is kind of short. So we'll just notch that guy in. And if you don't do this back panel like this, if it's just flat, it's real easy to assemble.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to.
You don't have to that. Yeah.
So let's get those guys in place. Pretend like it's wood glue, but we're doing it quickly. There. Wood glue.
It's gonna hold.
Yeah. If I was doing this for my house, I would use wood glue, but it's going to take probably overnight to dry nicely. Super glue works great, especially if you're in a pinch. I think more people have super glue than wood glue in their house. So
there you go.
Now you're saying, well, you have a shelf with the custom back panel. That makes, they're taking over New York. That seems like a horrible 80s movie.
Yes, it was. I think it was called He-Man in the 80s.
So, how do you get it on the wall? Well, this bracket, that is 2 layers of wood on these little rectangles.
Okay, 2 layers of
glued.
quarter-inch.
Yeah, and glued. And then it has these holes. And what you're going to do is just screw this into the wall straight. This is what really everything is riding on. This is crooked, your shelf will be crooked.
Okay.
So screw this guy into the wall, you have your bracers, and this...
It goes, notches right on.
And this will notch right on.
So if you ever want to replace the shelf or something like that, maybe you didn't like that baseball stadium at all, and you just want to get rid of it, you can keep the notches, the mounting, and just replace the shelf.
It's a nice tight fit, so that's why I'm struggling really hard. But that's where it goes. You'll see those are where the holes are. It mounts flush. So you just screw those guys into the wall, slide this guy on, and you have your shelves.
It's very nice. I think we have a shot of our lobby in which we have dozens of these shelves put together, and just give you kind of the effect of having the shelves.
Look at that. And we put all our projects for the week, every weekly project we have on the wall, great examples, and many different shape sizes. So we have 3 sizes for this one. And
that's going to wrap up our lasering week. What did we do this week besides what we did today? What did we do for In the Cuts this week? So
we were all about engravings. We did In the Cut. If you haven't checked it out on Tuesday, it was a just deep wood engraving. So high relief, seeing your, almost like an invert. So whatever your image is, your text is actually poking out, and we rastered behind it. So it shows that great relief and something that you can't really get in a lot of ways. And then on Thursday, we took off the side panel of our Muse and engraved it as well.
That's amazing.
And that was the output.
That came out great. So what are you actually laser cutting off of the side panel?
So we're removing the silver paint.
Okay, I got
and then exposing the bare metal underneath. And there was just a little bit of post-process cleanup because that paint heats up, kind of splatters. Not really splatters, but the vapors get on there. And then we just washed it away. And I used a little bit of water, and then for the tougher stuff, I used isopropyl alcohol.
Came out really nice.
Yeah, I like that panel.
And then we did Laser Talk on Wednesday, and that was all about engravings too.
All engraving.
So this week was all engravings. What are we doing next week?
Outdoors.
Summer's coming to an end. Temperatures will hopefully start to drop a little bit. Be a great time for camping. Yes. Great time for outdoor stuff. So
I think we talked about doing a fishbone fish lure holder.
A fish lure holder would be amazing.
I think that's cool. Yeah. Just hold all your lures. My buddy used to be into lures, but then he got so good at fishing, he just walks around the edge of the lake, grabs like an old lure that kind of just washed up, throws it on there, just catches it instantly. The guy is amazing. Mac, you are amazing. Anyways.
So next week will be all dedicated to outdoors. Check out In the Cut on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And Laser Talk on Wednesdays. And of course, 1 Hour Build on Fridays. All at 4 o'clock.
Thank you guys for joining. And until next time,
keep making.